Okay, this is part 4 of the video on how to support your teachers in planning with the instructional unit guides in science. This portion of the video series is going to focus on the resources that your teachers might need when they're planning for their activities, things that will help them with instruction in science, and then things that will help them learn about the next generation science standards. So I'm just going to be going through each one of these. When you have the PowerPoint on the portal, when you download that to use, you'll notice that all of the pictures on the PowerPoint that refer to websites are live. So you can actually click on the picture, the image, and it will take you to that website. And I'll be doing that while we talk about this today. So this first site is called PhET, and it's actually supported by the National Science Foundation, and it's kept up by the University of Colorado. It's a really good site. It has a lot of simulations and it shows models that the students will be able to understand. The teachers really like it. The caution that I would have about this site is that there are worksheets and types of things that teachers can download to use with the simulations, but it's very important that the teachers go through those worksheets and work through those simulations on their own before assigning it to students. What you'll find is that sometimes the simulations start off very low level, but they quickly move up in level, and if the students aren't ready for that information, they can't complete the simulation. So make sure that your teachers know they have to go through those simulations, do them themselves, and decide, do I want to do the whole thing? Do I want them just to do the first few parts of it, so that the students can be at the appropriate level of understanding. Like I said, if you click on it, it takes you to the actual site. And you can kind of see here how it, you're a lot of little teeter-totter. You have different things with light, so you can look at color vision. These are just some samples, but they're pretty basic. They're fun. Kids like them, so it's a pretty nice site for teachers to know about. So let's move back to the actual PowerPoint here, and we'll go to the next site. This is called the Concord Consortium. And the Concord Consortium is one that we use quite a bit on our instructional unit guides already. But like everything else, it has things being added new all the time. And, the teachers have the option of adding activities. These are next generation science activities, so the teachers can use things from these without much problem. The nice thing about this site is that it allows the teacher to pick. So they can say, I want to do life science, and then the cross-cutting concept that I want to use is, let's say systems. And then they'll let them go to the part of the practices that I want to use. Let's say I want to analyze data. So now we have this information, and it will bring up all the different activities that are available on the Concord Consortium that link those things together. So the teachers can drill down to the level that they need with basically their lesson plan intact for those DCIs, the cross-cutting concepts, and the practices. The one thing that they need to realize is that they do require technology. So once you find out what it is you want your students to be doing from the Concord Consortium, you're going to have to make sure you have the computer lab available, or computers available per group of students, or somehow have computers available, because they do often require technology. There are some that don't require technology, but you'll need to go through these simulations and these activities here on the Concord Consortium. The teachers have to go through them on their own first, because they do sometimes require more technology than they may have available in the classroom on any given day. So a little bit of planning will have to go in with that. So I'm going to go back here to the PowerPoint, and we'll look at the next one. And this is the hub. We've talked about it a little bit before. I do want you to always have your teachers go here first. So if they say, I need an activity for something, have them check out the hub first. This is the site that is supported by the NSTA. The thing that's nice about this site is that it is all vetted. So everything in here has gone through the EQUIP rubric, and we know that it is truly next gen. and that they work because they've been done in the classroom, and teachers have had a chance to give input on them. So I'm going to click just on one. I just randomly chose a middle school one, and you just scroll down to the bottom and see all these different lessons here that teachers can choose to use, and they give you kind of a synopsis. This is a 4 to 5 day set of activities. They have all different things that you can be looking for. But the nice thing is that they are already next gen, and you don't have to worry, am I meeting what I need to be doing? So we will be adding a lot of these things to the instructional unit guides, because I was just on this particular one the other day and they didn't have all these. So they're adding them every single day. Let's go back to the PowerPoint again and see if I can get it to come up here. And we're going to go ahead and go to the next slide. And that is the veneer site. Now, every middle school has veneer equipment. There was a $5 million grant several years ago that put all the veneer equipment into all the middle schools. The nice thing about the veneer equipment is that it does allow the students to collect real live data, and they can manipulate that and analyze that. So there is the actual lab quests that they use with the probes, the temperature, the light sensors, force meters. I mean, there's all sorts of things that they have. And they collect that, and then they generate these graphics, and they actually can do graphical analysis. They can look at number relationships. So it puts your math and science working together. It uses technology, and that technology we have actually seen being used in industry. So we've actually gone to different industries and seen this particular equipment being used by engineers. So it is engineering based, it is technology, it is math, it is science. So it meets your STEM components. So we definitely want this equipment to be used. If your teachers don't know how to use the veneer equipment, I'd love for you to give me that information, because we are offering all sorts of science clinics, and if we need to do more clinics on how to use the veneer equipment, we will do that. We stopped doing them because teachers weren't coming. They said they'd already had plenty of training, and so we hadn't done them for a little bit. But if we need to start those up again, we can certainly do that. So make sure that you have them check out that veneer site. The site itself has some really good things. They do have experiments that are grade level appropriate, and they're good experiments. And then they have these things called training. And you can go on that training part, and it will actually take a teacher all the way through a lab. I never went to a veneer training session. I did all my training here online with veneer, and I just went through and did all the different webinars they have. I got out all the equipment. The nice thing is you can lay the equipment down on the table, and then you can start the webinar, and it will take you through step by step on how to use that and let you use it in a lab. The support with veneer is second to none. Veneer is owned by teachers, and they understand what teachers need. So you can be putting a lab together and say, I don't have a certain component. And you can call them and say, it says I need cardboard or whatever, and I don't have it. And they will give you ideas on other things you can do that will make it work, because they're teachers and they've been in that situation. And they also are very, very nice to talk to. They will help solve your problems. So we do want to use that veneer equipment. And like I said, if your teachers need training, please let me know, and we'll start offering clinics on that as well. There are resources that teachers can have that will help with their overall instruction in science. And these are going to be resources like classroom discussions in math. Believe it or not, science does something called Science Talk, which is exactly what they do in math with the Math Talks. So information that you've already done with your teachers with math, that same thing can be done with your science teachers to get them using that Science Talk. So really, you just have to switch it up a little bit and using your science academic vocabulary. But what your math teachers are doing is what your science teachers need to be doing. And a lot of those things that the science teachers do with the equipment and the experiments is what your math teachers are starting to do. So you're going to see that math and science merge together a lot more as we move on. The next generation science standards and the Common Core Math and Common Core ELA all work together in a very nice way, and we want that. We want that to help support our students. So if you've done things with your math teachers on math talks and classroom discussions, you can feel free to do a lot of that with your science teachers. You can contact your math coaches like Liz Pizer, and she will help with that. You can also contact me, and I will help you with that. The 5E instructional model. This is a website by BSCS, which is the originators. Roger Bybee worked for BSCS, and it will give your teachers some background information. It doesn't have a whole lot of information on the 5E model. Really, the 5E model can best be learned by doing. There are some videos up online about it, but really it's more about the process. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not something that most secondary science teachers have a hard time doing. It's kind of the way your science teachers who are more into inquiry and being able to allow students to explore a little bit, those hands-on teachers, it's not really a hard stretch for them to learn to do that. So if they need help with the 5E model, just let me know. We can, I can come over, I can bring some lab stuff. We can actually do some hands-on labs going through the 5E model. Once they see it a couple times, they usually don't have much trouble planning for that. Okay, another site. I'm sorry if my little mouse thing is going everywhere because I seem to have lost my mouse. Here it goes. Okay, another website that's going to be pretty important for your teachers is the American Modeling Teachers Association. We do something in our district. It's an initiative we've had going on for about 5 years called modeling instruction. We've been offering clinics called mini modeling, and it's the math, science, and literacy initiatives all put together. So we can sum it up with the word whiteboarding. We want to see students whiteboarding. Whiteboarding is a great way for them to put mathematical relationships on a board along with their written interpretations, and to give presentations and argue from evidence. And that's what we're all about. So we really want them to do that. Mini modeling clinics are being offered all the time. Please encourage your teachers to take part in those so that we can get more of this whiteboarding going on. Resources that will help them with the next generation science standards. There's a series of videos by this guy. They're called the Bozeman videos. He's really kind of funny. He breaks them down. They're easy to understand. Teachers can watch them anytime. You can watch them anytime. They make learning about the standards much easier. So, and he has like 60 of them. And then there's this Lewis Center site, and what they've done is they've taken all the parts of the next generation science and they've broken them down into easy chunks. So you can go through and say, you know, you want to learn about the cross-cutting concepts, each one individually. You can click on those, and there's those videos by Paul Anderson, who is the Bozeman dude. So they're just much easier to find. District help is available. If you need me to come out to do PD, to work with your teachers, you want me to observe classes, help inventory supplies, whatever you need, just let me know. I am available to come out and work with you, and I'm more than happy to do that. Sometimes it's easier to have me sit down and plan with a teacher with lessons one-on-one than it is for you to try to figure out, you know, what's all the science stuff and what do I need to do. So just let me know. I do need a little bit of advance notice because my calendar does fill pretty quick. And then we are having monthly planning support meetings the first Thursday of each month, where the secondary teachers can come and work with other teachers in that grade and people who have written the instructional unit guide and figure out how they're going to plan for the units. Final thoughts. The next generation science requires lots of hands-on instruction. Teachers need the materials, the equipment, and supplies to be able to do that. So we need to make sure they have those. The instructional unit guides are new, and your teachers need time to meet and discuss and go through them. So please give them that time. And then finally, the science planning guide and the unit planning sheet that I've shared with you are optional. They don't have to use those, but they're great resources. We found they work very well with our new teachers. So if your teachers are looking for something, they're there, but they are not required to be used. If I can be of any assistance to you, please let me know. I really want our teachers being able to use these guides, and I hope that you guys can offer them that support. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you.